Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello.
So look, this is the following week. We had fears, we had thoughts, but Lucas survived the parapet. Did you see that coming?
I did not see that coming at all because, one, with the look that Pascal was giving him, I figured he was going to be glued to him every time he was in the house. And the fact that he escaped that parapet, I think that's like a major, major ordeal, like in the history of the parapet.
Listen. I thought life would be easier once Lucas learned the truth. That's what I thought. But some storylines, when people learn the truth, it gets worse, not better. And that's pretty much Lucas for me. He got worse. So Elizabeth is like, you got to move out tonight. And we're just fearful, like all weekend, all of us in fear. What's going to happen to Lucas? We don't know. And so Johnny made this joke because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't know if he's going to fall over. And then Johnny made a joke about he wanted a trip on parapet air.
Oh my word, dad joke of the day.
I tried not to laugh and then I wrote it down just in case I wanted to use it. But I'm sorry. Like, what is the matter with you, right? You learn your partner is a criminal. Like, you learn this and you're safe, right? You're off the island. And then you're like, this is the beginning of his ongoing bad decision making. And this is one of those times where I'm going to say, old Lucas would never have made this choice. I am content with this, Lucas. But in this moment, I will say old Lucas would never have risked his life to get a couple of shirts back. That's just how I feel.
I absolutely love that you said that because I do feel that way. Like when a new character comes on, you kind of draw this line, old and new. But it's funny that you bring up old Lucas because I was thinking old Nina. Like old Nina and her relationships like to level jump. And I feel like Lucas is holding on to this relationship at a level that's like not quite there yet. And that comes through with this conversation with his sister later.
Oh my gosh, there's just so much about the conversations this man is having. So, like, you come back, you learn your boyfriend is not who you think he is, and then you tell him to his face
I
hole,
could not. I was so scared. So
how much of that
scared.
did you hear? All of it and more. And I'm like, no. You don't just say, hey, I think you're going to kill my ex brother-in-law. Like you don't do that. And then when he went inside, first of all, I'm like a sigh of relief when he walked into the door and they moved to another room.
Yes.
And then I'm watching as Lucas proceeds to tell Marco every single thing he heard. Everything. I'm sorry, Lucas, like your sister is rich. Your cousin Michael, super rich. Someone could have bought you new shirts. Is all I'm saying.
Honestly.
All
He's a
I'm
doctor. We said this last week. Like, just go out, get a few shirts, figure out your life.
Ava totally could have called Nina and been like, hey, my nephew lost all of his belongings, earthly belongings. Do you have 5 shirts? And he would have been set. Okay, he would have had
Yes.
fancy shirts, probably better than anything he currently has. And so I'm watching this thing between Lucas and Marco. Okay, great acting. But for me, when I'm looking at this, Marco, it's like he's really emotional. He's in reality. He's like,
Yes.
okay, damage control. When I look at Lucas, I am seeing Drama King, the guy who wants to remain mad at Carly, the guy who just loves that he was wronged so he can shove it in his face. That's who Lucas was in that. Do I hate it? No, but Marco is more serious. He's more criminally, and I don't think they should be together.
But like, so did I. Like, there's a very big difference between the two of them. But what I love, so Marco's like devastated and he wants to hang on to him, but he's like, okay, but like, just give me a few more months of criming. Just
Yeah.
like, hold on, just a few. I just thought it was so hilarious that he actually said that out loud that, but May, I'm going to quit crime in cold turkey and we're going to run off into the sunset.
There was a lot there, like saying, I wanted you close to me. No, Marco, needed to be close to crime, and it was convenient to have Lucas also around. And then when Marco wasn't making any headway, because Lucas is really good at the like, but I'm so wronged, no matter what you do, and all the threats of the relationship being over. And so then Marco randomly just goes, both our moms are dead. And then they're both tearing up. And I'm like,
I
what?
laughed. That's when I laughed out loud, honestly.
What is going on? So I'm like, they're really going to cry about their dead moms right now. And like, that's exactly it. There was an extension to the crime. So it's like, okay, so Lucas, your man friend lied to you. Okay. You caught him in this lie. You're saying you don't know who he is. But then immediately he bought the sob story. I only started criming after my mom died and I wasn't thinking clearly and I wanted to kill Sonny. That's when I wanted to. And the fact that this guy was actually debating whether his love for Lucas weighed more than his desire for revenge. Like he actually put it out there. He didn't make a declaration. He didn't say, Lucas, you matter more to me than revenge. He literally made a statement. Maybe I should consider which is more important, as I will do as I declare this sentence, and maybe it'll come to me. You know? Because ultimately he said, I love you, but I will crime, like you said, until May.
Until
Um,
I feel the criming is complete.
and so Lucas was simply like, I'm glad we had this talk. And then
Bonkers.
he runs to Carly, giving the audience the impression that he made contact with common sense because he tells Carly, you were right about everything, but don't worry. I'm going to stay with him. And then I'm going to compare him to what you had with Sonny. Okay. I could not take him seriously. He's so naive. And then
Mhm.
Carly keeps expressing how worried she is for him. And the thing is, Lucas's response was, "Jens is not gonna hurt Marco." And I'm like, "Marco's not the one in danger.
Exactly.
It's you! You are disposable." Like, his inability with all of this information. So now he has additional information. I don't understand how you can have that much information and make an uninformed decision.
It was very comical. Like for this like really crazy storyline where he's in the middle of everything. He knows about Brit, so now he doesn't care about Brit being threatened. Like he doesn't care.
Oh, no, because it's gonna be over in May, and also his dad manipulated him. So
He's just a sad little Marco.
he's sad. I can't. And like, how did you feel when he tried to compare himself to Sonny? Like, I get it, the choice to be with a criminal, but Carly kind of explained, I never dated Sonny under the illusion that he was something else.
So it was wild to me. Like that's where like I was talking about like a level jumping, right? Like all of a sudden he's like this mature guy in a mature relationship. Like he's a teenager playing a grown up, right? And he just wants to so badly compare to his big sister and the choices that she's made. But exactly that. She made well informed choices. She knew what she was getting herself into. She knows how innocent Lucas is and how oblivious he is to how dangerous the situation is.
Yeah, she went into things with eyes wide open, and over the years, she learned a lot about navigating that world. And we see, for instance, how it makes a difference, right? When you enter into the WSB, you have to kind of learn new rules, and she is learning them. But the point is, Lucas knows nothing about anything. He knows about trust or like loyalty or what it means to be in a mob family that is like enemies with, let's say, the mob in your extended family. Like he's not able to kind of
No, no, he cannot comprehend half of what you said.
exactly like what does this mean for the holidays is I think what Lucas is thinking about, whereas everyone else is thinking, well, someone's gonna die.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Like a war could happen. But yeah, watching Lucas, I was like you need a large slap. Like a really, really like whatever Willow did, more of that.
More.
Yeah. So while I don't know if it's the same day as this conversation, but Valentine's is happening. And I just could not believe that Valentine's was happening for Jens, Lucy, and Ava.
This whole situation, like, however I feel about Lucy, she is in her own little bubble in revenge mode, and watching her go through the antics that she's doing is highly entertaining.
It is entertaining, but I'm just like, this storyline,
I don't get, yep.
we call it that, has been going on for so long. And there's so many players involved. Like you mentioned Pascal earlier. We actually got to see that conversation and why Pascal held back. And he tried to make a case for being like, hey, I was thinking maybe I could be more important than your son because he knows why I choose you. And then Jen's was like, highly inappropriate. Okay.
He's really looking for love, that poor Pascal.
Yes, and Jen's made it very clear, I don't father my stuff. So maybe we'll just leave this and don't ever try to be fathered by me again. Or
Yes,
Loyal.
exactly.
Don't you dare. So again, Pascal is one of the moving parts. There are like hundreds of moving parts. So you're gonna tell me after the buildup of all the criminals and all the like double, what do you call that when a spy?
Double agent?
Sure. All of that doubling, that Lucy is going to be the key to this unraveling of this storyline.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot of people contributing to a bigger picture, and she plays a role in it, which is a hilarious one.
But they've been saying that from a long time ago. Like when Dalton's body showed up in Laura's car, immediately they were like, you know what? Did you know that he's in a love triangle?
It was so weird and
Even though
unexpected.
I had to sell my peers and Laura is being blackmailed. Okay, and Jens is literally running her mayoral whatever. He's in a love triangle, so we don't have to worry about this.
It's
Like,
all gonna be okay.
yeah. During that whole thing, what I thought was funny is that, like, when the Davis women popped in, immediately I could tell Ava wanted to join the coven. She wanted to go
Yeah.
table. The only thing that would have been weird is like Molly, right? Because Molly is not necessarily as cool with Ava as Christina and Alexis are.
Yes.
But I love a few of those connections made at the Metro Court. I liked that Ava and Alexis had a moment.
I love that. They miss each other.
Yes, it was so cute. They were genuinely happy to see each other. And, you know, Alexis teased her about Lucy and like showed a little concern about like, well, what are you doing with the whole Jens thing? And then even Carly and Alexis had a bit of a moment where she went to go talk to Alexis about Michael, the custody, and just basically how things played out for him. But it was still like a really cute, respectful moment.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I just say, if your boyfriend is going to go out of his way to refuse to solve a solvable issue, like basically read past chapter 2, this isn't a debate any longer. Like it should be over.
Honestly, as much as I like Cody, he's got a lot of work to do on himself if he doesn't understand how books work.
You turn the page, like there's more there. And that's all everyone's been trying to say to him.
Yeah.
They're like, be informed, read more. And he's like, no, I'm going to read another book. I am going to join a book club. I'm going to host it and I'm going to make new friends. I'm going to put a crap ton of energy into not solving this problem. That's what I'm going to do. No.
No.
That to me, not worth it. Not worth it at all. The fact that Christina had to go there and shove the book in his face and explain that to resolve the situation, okay, that only proved to me that he's never read before. The fact that for Cody, if the character is this way at the start of the book, there is no way they're different at the end of the book.
It's like, I don't do books. I don't understand how this works. Like magic. You put something in, it's one way and it comes out different. You're really telling me this?
Well, he's basically saying, no, evolving's not a thing. If I don't evolve, there's no way books evolve because that would be crazy. It would be crazy if a character evolved over me and I'm a human man who's not evolving. It's not possible that a man on paper could evolve more than I could. So no, that was a ew.
And I mean, I don't know why they have to give them so many problems. Like, I just want Molly to be happy and Cody to be a little bit stable. He's great with James and he's got this growing, like, this family around him that's supportive and loving. Like, it's okay for, like, this couple to like each other for and not have problems for at least, like, 2 weeks. Like, it would be nice. I don't know.
For a long time, Molly and TJ were just the background happy couple, and that was pretty great. Like they had issues here and there, but for the most part, they were this stable couple you can count on until you could not count on them anymore. And then we're all like, well, then what do we believe in anymore? And so why couldn't that be the whole thing with Cody? I feel like they've surmounted. Is that a word? Okay.
It can be.
I feel like
Have overcome?
there's a mounting.
Not these days, but yeah.
I feel like we've overcome enough, but also Cody is not like, I mean, look, I don't think that highly of him right now, but he also knew better than to tell Mac what was going on because Mac would have like given him the business.
Big time.
Yeah. So I just can't with all of that. As for other love triangles, right? Because there are others and there is Lulu. And she's trying to figure out her love triangle.
And
That
how to be a friend.
oh my gosh. I was so happy yesterday. Watching those scenes was the best thing ever.
I
Watching
bet.
her like no, because like they finally brought up that detail. She's like, you know what a good friend is, which is exactly what I've been saying.
Yes.
Does your nails, does your nails, not kissing your husband, but just simply takes care of your nails. And I loved it. And Laura didn't know what to do. Like she did
I
not have
know.
strong arguments at all. She's like, I'm not a good friend. And I'm like, no, you're not. But she's also really disloyal. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I couldn't believe. So, not only the whole Nathan thing, and like I said, even though I say, yeah, they could be together, and I'd probably sort of support that because it makes sense, you know?
Yes.
But on the flip side,
Coma wise.
yes, coma wise. But on the flip side to that, yeah, on paper, she said it herself. It looks really bad.
It
Looks
does.
horrible because the thing is, when she talked about how Maxie took care of her while she was in a coma, you have no excuse. You literally had a blueprint for how to treat a friend in a coma. And she took like a hard left and was like, you know what? I'm going to try the opposite and see how that works out for everyone. So I just think like you don't have a lot of excuses when you knew exactly what to do. So not only was there all of that, there's the whole loyalty factor, you know, the Nathan thing, but to me, I just feel she's also being super disloyal to Spinelli.
But this is the
Super.
thing. I couldn't believe and they did it beautifully when they paralleled those scenes with Brooklyn talking to Spinelli and Lulu speaking to her mom about how the kind of person that Lulu is in this moment. We saw like a small jump in her being a better person and making better choices and just creating a more stable life for herself and her kids and reining in on the reality of it all. But exactly that. The whole not being a good friend, the kissing Nathan, oh, I feel so bad for Spinelli. So you have zero faith in who your friend is now.
None. It was just so crazy to me. And the thing is, it's like she's been friends with Spinelli for so long, and
Yes.
it's not about choosing, you know, like being in
Yeah.
a Nathan camp and a Spinelli camp. Like I can understand because we have feelings, you automatically assume it won't work out. And so I can understand her logic as a girl who has a crush, you know? That
Yes.
you're thinking, no, 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 and he'll definitely choose Maxie. But I think like it's not that about him choosing her, but I think recognizing that it's one thing for him to say stuff to her, and it's another for him to see Maxie.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean you have to have no respect for what Maxie and Spinelli have built. Like,
Yes.
fairy tale land where it's like, well, they're obviously going to get back together. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's Lulu. She's very self-centered and she's using a lot of her own experience coming back from a coma to create guarantees about Nathan's story. When in truth, like you can't really guarantee how people will feel. I mean, it's something that Dante tried to communicate to Nathan that like my story isn't yours. Timing had a lot to do with everything. And I don't know how Dante's gonna feel that Nathan is like literally having this heart to heart, but it's also about Lulu.
I know. I was thinking about that. Like at the same time, they're no longer in love and not
No,
together, but
they're
it's still
not.
a weird dynamic regardless.
Yes, it's still weird, and Brooklyn pointed that out. Like I said, Laura didn't really have much to give to Lulu in those moments. It was a
She
lot of
just said
like,
a lot of words in circles.
yeah, these words in particular had me though. When she said, because I think Lulu was like beating herself up, but she just goes, Maxie didn't even know he was alive. And I'm like, how is that?
How is that a response to any of them?
It's not an answer. I mean, she got wise at the end, which I appreciated. You're not being
Mm,
selfish by, talking to me. It's selfish if you make it Maxie's problem. Also, a
exactly.
little selfish that you showed up late. You could have been on time.
True. True.
You know, but I think that was fair. You need space to sort of sort your feelings. But you talked a lot about this during the Nina Sunny storyline, the idea that you can have feelings, but feelings and actions are two different things. And I think that's true here. For Lulu, you can sort through and process your feelings without really taking any action.
Exactly.
I mean, she has no choice but to figure that out. But I just love the drama of it all, though. Like it worked out pretty well. Like the timing of it all. I feel like their bond between Lulu and Nathan is very believable. If you're a
Yes.
longtime fan, you have the backstory and you know the Nathan Maxie stuff and you know the Spinelli love story. And I was telling Johnny, like, of a love triangle, I've never loved the Maxie Spinelli Nathan because truthfully with these two men, it's so hard. They're both incredible. And I feel like the Nathan Spinelli Maxie love triangle is like the most unfair love triangle of all time.
Because we all love in different phases of life, and you can't exactly compare them to be equal to one another because you're a different
No.
person in all of those relationships. So it's very complicated and multi-layered. And no, I don't like that Spinelli might be in a certain position, but we know more or less where this is going to go. We just have to see the trials and tribulations of Maxie, witnessing or talking to and being around Nathan for the first time and what that's going to feel like for her.
Yeah, and I think that while I don't like the Nathan Spinelli thing, I think what helps me is, like you pointed out, it's about Maxie, and that is how I feel, right? This is a Maxie
Hmm.
storyline, and it's more about following who she is. Like, I think that this situation with Nathan and Spinelli ultimately is going to be a reflection of Maxie's growth and where she's at and what matters to her. So I feel like this situation will kind of get this sort of deep dive into Maxie. Like, I've been wanting more Maxie for a long time, even before she left for a little bit. So I'm hoping that we get that. I think it's really more about who she is and how she's going to navigate her relationship with Lulu ultimately. Because, like you pointed out, on
Yes.
paper, everyone's moved on, but there's so many complications, and I really hope they do it justice between Maxie and Lulu, right? Because there is the drama when Nathan died, and then there was
Yes.
the way that Maxie supported her, not only during her coma, but in her rocky integration. Maxie did give her a lot of leeway as she created a lot of storms in her life. You know what I mean? She inserted herself into Maxie's work. She created problems in a life that was pretty peaceful before Lulu's return.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm really excited for that. I think a lot of us were confused as how Maxie handled Brooklyn and Lulu at times because it seemed
Yes.
pretty unfair. We just chalked it up to the fact that, like, she had expectations of Brooklyn for being mature and had zero of Lulu. I think that's how I kind of rationalized it. But now we might actually get to see, what's really there. Like, what's really there with you and Lulu. I think they have a lot of love and history for sure, but I think they've got some stuff to hash out.
You read my mind exactly that because just because there's history doesn't mean you can take that history and just superimpose it onto everything and make everything okay. Like they need to figure things out in the now.
Yeah, and I think it's like a boundary thing too. I think Lulu crossed a lot of lines, and I don't think this is gonna
Mm,
help her case because I feel like Maxie might see it as crossing a line.
yes,
Yeah.
big time. A giant line.
Look, her reunion with everybody was really sweet. We saw that the cemetery is pretty close to Maxie's house, I'm guessing.
Walking distance. Okay, so what did you think about Nathan going to visit his own stone?
I mean, weird timing. You've been back for some time, and upon Maxie's return, you're going to go visit the grave. I learned a lot from Felicia this week when she told Maxie that they resumed the grave and the body was not there. I don't remember if I
Exactly.
knew that before, but I feel like I only knew it for the first time through Felicia.
Me too.
Look, I think it was poignant because since Nathan's death, we've seen Maxie at that gravestone a lot. So I think when I think about that, the fact that Nathan's tombstone has probably been in so many episodes since his death, is Maxie gonna question her sanity? Because there were times where she was there and his ghost would appear.
Okay. But everybody else sees Nathan now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Everyone that when he was dead on special moments, he would just be there. Like the actor would come back as a ghost
I love it.
in some scenes. So yeah, look, I think it's poignant. It's clear that I think it was important for Maxie to have the reunion with Nathan privately, so it made sense for her walk. And I think it's now that we're talking, it's a good place, I guess, for them to meet. I kind of wonder this, as much as Maxie's happy to see him, I wonder if it's going to be weird for her in that even though it's not his fault he was gone, I wonder if there's a part of her that's going to be like mad at him, but that's like really complicated and deep, like mad at him for not being there, even though it wasn't his fault. And I'm wondering about how her being awake is gonna maybe push forward people being curious about Nathan because we talked about that, like, nobody cared. We were just like, "Come back, have a job." Whereas I feel like Maxie might be more pushy, ask more questions because her kid is on the line.
100%. And Maxie is of curious nature. She's gonna dig deep. She's gonna dig her heels in and make sure that she gets the answers that she wants and that he's really who he is. I mean, she's gone through a lot of things in her lifetime with men in her life. So, yes, I can't wait to see it, like how we discover a little bit more about his lost time.
Well, the fact that Faison was brought up for her, and I mean, look, the girl's grown up knowing exactly who this man is to her family and what he's done. And when you talk about her experience with men, it's like we saw what she went through with Peter. So I am curious about how all of this is going to go, but like, I can't believe it. She's back. She told Brooklyn, "You don't have to worry. I'm not leaving." And I am going to take her word for it.
Exactly.
Okay. So I don't know if you like caught on to this, but Willow's rebuilding her life. She got herself a house. It's just her.
This girl, okay, so we know, the whole being in Congress thing. She twinkles at the word power. She's very excited at this new prospect. We
Oh,
have Jen's in the mix, Nina in the mix. What did you think of her conversation with Jen's? Because I think, like, before I asked you the question, what I'm answering, but no, there's this one part. So they're talking on the parapet, and
yeah.
all I could picture
Hmm.
is like little evil, like devil Willow on her shoulder and her like using Pascal as like a nurse to like help keep injecting Drew. Like, is Drew gonna end up in the catacombs? Is Pascal gonna be his nurse? Is Willow gonna go full on evil congresswoman?
I mean, yeah. Like how Nina was like, "Oh, Drew used this to for revenge and for personal gain, but you wouldn't."
You're too kind.
I mean, this girl has been talking about power for a long time, but I mean,
Yes,
let's be real. She felt you needed a powerful man, even though her mom was quite powerful. Like,
exactly.
I'm glad Nina reminded her that Drew owes his career to her. Look, I think she's going down a dark path. And I mean, when Jens came into the picture, I paused because in my mind
Hmm.
I'm thinking, okay, so Willow is getting this thing offered to her. We know power, that concept will go a long way with her, but we also know what Jens is doing to Laura. So part of me was like,
Exactly.
okay, because with Drew, it was sort of like he finally met his own match. So on the one hand, I'm thinking, is she going to rise to power and then realize she's going to be, I don't know, blackmailed? Like, I don't know how he can blackmail her unless he knows what she's done. So that's the thing. That's what worried me. I wasn't sure if this was going to be like a Jen's Willow storyline or essentially just Jen's sticking his nose in it because she has like nobody else in her life to just push Willow's story further, separate from him.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So I don't know about that because if he's gonna be intimately involved with the situation, then I feel like it backs the story into a corner because we saw what he's doing to Laura and we saw what he did to Drew, right? That he's just using them as puppets. And I don't
Yes,
think Willow's
exactly.
kind of come this far to be anybody's puppet. So it would be weird. Like I feel this is an indication that she needs to rise to power just for a harder fall,
Ooh, okay.
which I admit would be satisfying considering.
No, I agree. Super satisfying. Okay, so and
But she's not the only one who got poached. Laura
yes,
wants to put in a word for Alexis.
I would love to see Alexis in Congress because we have like Molly and Christina that can take care of Scout. Willow just got her kids back too, and she'd be like, "Peace out, I'm going to Washington." Nina made clear that the split in time that Congress can align their work schedule with their kids. That's fantastic to know. But I would. How do you feel about Alexis being in Congress?
I like when it comes to Alexis specifically, I think it's a cool arc for her and her career.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that part's really cool. But I love the campaign she's got going against herself. I've been in prison. I've been hard. I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, you should put it on a poster. So, the whole spouse thing, though, throws a wrench in it, and someone actually commented on our page to let us know that this did happen. So, like, this is a thing.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I was just like, "Okay, good to know," because I was never gonna Google it. So, I just posted, didn't know that was a thing, but, when I heard that, immediately I'm like, "Can I recruit Johnny to finish my workday?" Like, how does this
How
work?
far does it go?
Exactly. So, okay, you have Alexis and Willow, And I can see this being a next step for Alexis, but I don't think she can have it right away. If the spouse thing holds true, then it looks like Willow would simply slide right in because they're not
Yes.
going to hold an election. I think it's more just like a replacement. So I think it is likely that maybe Willow would get it, which would make sense for her storyline. But if Alexis really wants this long term, I think if Willow has a rise to power, Alexis will feel compelled to maybe put a stop to it, given what she knows.
Well, I think that maybe she'll also figure things out with Drew. Like, it's so interesting how dynamics shift, where,
Yes.
like, Willow's super evil, you're feeling bad for Drew, and I think you're gonna be really proud of me unless you figured it out as well. So when they were in the room together, Alexis and Drew, and he was, like, blinking a bunch, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's Morse code." Like,
Yeah.
what is he telling her?
And
So
so
then
it
I, like exactly, yeah.
sorry, sorry. I'm like, so that's the punchline. I'm like, look, to make you feel better, was Johnny talking the whole time while I was watching that, and he Googled.
Well, I watched an episode of The Office where, like, Pam and Jim, they took a class on the weekend to learn Morse code just to mess with Dwight, and they were blinking at each other across from their desks.
So, yeah, so the thing is Alexis saw that, and I guess while Johnny was working it out, in my mind, I'm like, "Okay, but who can speak Morse code?" I'm like,
Exactly.
"Maybe Jason," but Jason's not gonna visit, but what I think is gonna happen is, kinda like the whole Wylie thing, you see something
Yes.
and then it gets moved along. So I essentially think that because she remembered, "You blinked at me 3 times, not 2 or 1." So I think
Yes.
she'll just come up against some Morse code SOS anecdote or info
Yes.
together, essentially. But I kind of think it's really messed up that Alexis goes to Willow, the woman she knows shot Drew, and goes, "He seems distressed, you know? The woman who shot him is caring for him, and I saw
Right?
him in his home." I mean, what do you think that's about? I'm like, Alexis, did you just forget? Like, you didn't forget when she tried to hug you. Like, you remembered who she was and you kept your arms stiff. But then later you're going to ask, like, why would Drew be in distress?
Well, like, I'm assuming that, if I was Alexis, Drew doesn't know she knows. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't know about the grand confession. She's still thinking that there's love there, even though there's been shooting.
I think she knows better than that. Like, if you can't hug this woman back, you don't trust her. You don't think she's warm and fuzzy and kind.
No.
And I mean, if this man is locked in, who knows what she's saying to him? If she shot him and basically pretended to love him to have a proper defense, which I'm sure Alexis put together, like, what do you think she's whispering to him?
Huh? Or Drew. Never thought I'd hear the day.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, that's really intense. So, the keys. Okay. So, in the week, you see like Chase being helpful,
So helpful.
so helpful. And then Nathan is like, thanks, man. I'll follow up on that. And I'm just thinking, this is insane. Is anybody going to know that like Chase encouraged this idea and it wasn't on Nathan? And then it all came together really fast. But before we finish that, I just want to like mention um hashtag grateful for Tracy that she stepped in when Chase went at Michael.
Yes. I love her.
You know how we say no one actually hears how vile some people are and
Yes.
what he was saying, especially in the context of them being family. And so I like that Tracy sort of stepped in and kind of drew that family line. Even Dante at one point said to him, we have to coexist. Like at the end of the day, we're family, we have differences, but we need to find a way to kind of live together. And I'm glad that Tracy was there to say that. So,
Exactly.
okay. Could not have been happier for all of the dots to be connected. That little conversation at the PCPD with Nathan, Justine, and Dante, saying, oh, it was Chase, it wasn't me. So the fact that Justine had that information in her mind, loved
Hmm.
it. Also questioning Justine. She's convinced that they got the right woman and that Willow, in fact, shot Drew. But then 2 seconds later, she's like, I see what's going on here. It's Michael's arrogance. I'm like, what?
I know. I was like, what is happening here? How did you just flip the script so quickly?
I know. It's like we don't have to say the first thing that comes to our mind, like let it simmer a bit. Like even when Dante and Michael were having it out in the kitchen where Michael was trying to connect with him, I just couldn't believe Dante. I couldn't believe him when she was like, I defended you. I'm like, no, you didn't. You made sure everyone knew that your brother was
Yes.
capable of murder. And then, this idea that about being able to talk, like you can't, like Dante has never been able to have that level of honesty with any of his family members because of his job.
Exactly.
And then he's talking to Michael as if his subconscious is Michael's problem. He's like, "Why? Because of my subconscious, I can't tease things apart." I'm like, "Ew, ew." Like,
Yes.
no, your subconscious is a you problem.
I know.
So everybody was just really weird, I find. I mean, everybody has been around the whole Michael thing, convinced that they know the truth one minute and then the next, no. I love how much Michael's lied, but he's still innocent. I kind of
Right?
like that they keep playing up this idea that perception really isn't everything and it's only part of the story.
And I loved what Rick had to say about the situation. Like, yeah, I had a key, but who put it there? Like, it
I
was just, I love this new, like, reinvented Rick. It's awesome.
I do. I know Carly has a problem with it, but I really love Rick. I love the relationship with Sunny. I love the relationship he's finally building with his own family, with Michael, with his nephew, right? Because anything attached to Sunny, Rick was pretty awful about. And you can't have him as your brother and constantly be going after Christina or Michael or anything like that. I mean, he trusted him enough to kind of take his children to Willow.
Right?
Like, I think that's huge. So he's very much
Huge.
part of the family. That's what's worse, right? Rick can be more in the family than Dante ever could.
Yeah.
So, Michael has to go, and I'm just like, "I cannot believe this is happening." They get the warrant for the key. Michael's getting called in, and I'm like, "But Wylie knows, he knows." And I couldn't be thrilled to see how fast that came up. The fact that, like,
Right?
Rick mentioned the keys and that Wylie mentioned, the keys that Chase had. I love that he actually got to talk to Michael and being like, "Yeah, you absolutely are walking into a trap." And when he said this, I was like, "I'm so excited." When he said the way things are gonna end is essentially like the PCPD will be the ones, like in trouble or holding the bag or that kind of a thing. So
Yes.
I was so excited knowing that Rick was coming in there to target one of their own. And this is like one of the only things that I predicted that I think is actually gonna happen. Like we talked about how things would go down,
Yeah.
talked about how the key thing would bite Chase. He would look guilty as if he planted it there because Wiley saw him. Not to mention that he told Nathan and pointed him in that direction to go look. He's going to end up in hot water, and Willow won't do anything about it because she's on her way to Congress.
So good. So good.
Right?
Because and especially with Chase's story right now, like, they're gonna adopt a baby and they're, like, super happy again because he doesn't talk about Willow and Brooklyn doesn't catch him doing anything ridiculous with Michael, so life is gonna be so great. No, it won't, Chase. No, it won't. You
Well,
made bad choices.
but it makes sense that Brooklyn was like, "I think we should start a family," and it's just in time for him to be, like, arrested so she doesn't have to follow through. Not that she knows, but, like, that kinda makes sense to me.
Hilarious.
Isn't that incredible? Like, we're on the verge of, like, you know, Drew trying to make contact with Alexis, trying really hard to make
Really hard.
her. So there's the beginning of his efforts to communicate with someone, and someone's bound to know Morse code. And just how things are developing with Michael, like that could take him off completely as a possible suspect because there's so much tampering from one of their own. There's no way that they can then bring charges to him. And like you said, also loved how Rick just pointed to the facts. All you found was a key. You haven't found anything to suggest he used the key
Oh
or
my gosh.
there. I loved all of it.
Did we cover all the things and talk about all the stuff?
I think that we did. One more thing about Chase, though. When he was
Yes.
with Brooklyn at the Brown Dog on
Yes.
Valentine's Day, he's like, "Oh my gosh, is this not romantic enough?" I'm like, "No."
No, it's not. It's really not. You really dropped the ball, Chase.
And I'm gonna say this, all couples feel different about Valentine's Day, and she didn't really care because her friend woke up from a coma. But the
Yes.
truth is, they have not been married that long where you can do that. You know what I mean? Only people who've been married for a really long time can get away with that low key stuff, and you're like, whatever. But they haven't earned whatever yet. They have not, especially after his crap with Willow. He
Yes.
surely has not earned a let's go grab a beer at the Brown Dog. No, 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 no.
Okay, but I am gonna put a gold star, like, I'm gonna give a gold star to the brown dog because we also had a little Carly, Jason, bestie,
So
10-minute catch up, which I loved because it just kind
so
of like brought me back a little bit.
no, I did appreciate that. I have a thought about Carly and Valentine, though. This is gonna be the clincher in their relationship. So you know how they have cocktail hour?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the moment we're gonna know this is serious is the moment she wakes up, he's made the coffee, and she loves his coffee.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay?
good.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Coffee's a big deal in that house, and I think that would be the clincher, and I would love it if they could add in that detail. I think that would be super symbolic.
It would be. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to look out for that. I'm going to look out for that. I do have a favorite line.
Okay.
It's when Cody and Christina were together and he was reading the book and Christina was kind of like over his shoulder.
Mhm.
And she's like, I'm not looming. I'm not tall enough to loom. And it was just like a shout out to short people. And I'm, a good 5'1". So I was really excited about that.
My favorite line was Obrecht when she went to go see Nathan and was getting very excited, and then she said, "I won't interfere," and then Britt goes, "You might wanna get that in writing."
Yeah.
Other favorite line moment gold star was when Rick falls on his date with Elizabeth and then
Yes.
tells her, "No, you're on the floor," and I thought that was really
They're just so cute together. Okay. They're so cute together. I don't even know what object. It's not like a bronze star. Maybe it's like a thumbs down, a puking emoji. I'm not sure which one it is.
okay.
But the meetup hookup at the random, I don't know if it's a boathouse or a lighthouse.
Okay, it
I
was
pictured your face and I was like, oh, I hope there's a bucket nearby.
okay. So, I didn't even bother to write that down. I think they said it all when they started to, like, kiss or whatever, and then it went to commercial. Like, they
Yeah.
won't give these 2 the time of day, and the way that they're playing it, and I don't know if it's just me, but she's always overly excited, and he's like, "Yeah, cool." He's just like, he does not seem as interested. I know he is, right? Like, that's the thing. He's
Yes.
supposed to be interested. That's what it's supposed to be. But I find she seems so much happier and more enthusiastic than he is. And this is what I'm thinking, like, with the vibe. Like, we know that he's gonna be taking off.
Yes.
I don't know. I have a feeling with the way that she's playing up her excitement, this is just one of those things where he's gonna do it again, right? The whole somebody else is more important.
Yes.
But a second fracture means, like, I don't think you can really come back from that.
Oh, no, not at all. Never.
So I think it's a possible build up to a second fracture is what I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll flip the script now. I'm going to give a star to Sunny and Rick's breakfast because they're adorable.
Yes.
And Rick's face acting between ADA, Turner, and Sunny was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal because he's like, "I kinda wanna hang out with my brother." She's like, "I couldn't impose." He's like, "Yeah." Like, he was like, "I don't." And I loved how he called him on exactly what he was doing, and he said, "Who's playing who?" I'm like, "I'm still gonna say it's Sunny because I don't think Justine is like, knows how to do this." Like, she's already making so many concessions, and apparently it's for the greater good. Like, she goes to Dante, she's like, "I recuse myself. You should too." Her swing, and it's like it's like, why did you recuse yourself? You did it for Sunny. It's so awkward. So awkward.
Super awkward. Okay, do you have any more stars? If not, what is your cutie pie moment of the week?
Okay, this is weird because my cutie pie moment actually goes to Amelia and Willow. It's like I don't want to give it to Willow, but I don't know if you
Okay.
noticed, but when she was like greeting and hugging the kids, Amelia was so cuddly. Like she would lean into Willow, and then at one point
Hmm.
she's like nuzzling her head into her neck. Like it was so cute. And I like to be honest, that was like the cutest moment, even though Willow was a part of it.
Oh my gosh, I love it, and it's so cute. We should just let people know, though, we are recording on a Thursday
Yeah.
because Friday is a special episode of General Hospital. So, yeah, this is fantastic. We did it. We talked about all the things. We covered all the stuff. We did not talk about your handle. Rewind
So,
your handle.
yeah, it's at Cutie Pie Coloring, but you can get the link to the coloring book on our Instagram page. So it's a great add-on gift. Like if you're getting anything for anyone else, it's a great small thing to give to get for someone. Also, a massive, massive gold star to Wylie before we go.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. That kid
Yeah.
has just cracked so many cases.
Okay, gold star to Wylie and a fearful star for Tracy. She tried to stand up to Jen, but Jen's
Yes.
became threatening. And I don't like this whole idea that, hey, now that Maxie's back, we're going to rein it in. I feel like you're placing a target on Maxie. I feel like there's a target on Tracy, and I'm like scared.
I am too. He's very scary. Also, for the Cutie Pie coloring book, Easter's right around the corner. Keep that in mind for those cute little Easter baskets. It's a
Oh,
perfect little gift.
thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. Folks, that's a wrap. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.